Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Let's get TikTok on. Good morning, TikTok. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's Sunday is starting really amazing. Mine is. So today we're talking about procrastination, something that I promised, and we will talk about this. I will tell you how you can motivate yourself, why you're not able to motivate, and what are the energetic reasons and how to fix them. But while we're getting together, I'm going to answer a question. The question is really unrelated to this topic, but I will answer it. Still getting together. And if you're watching this as a recording, then I will put in the comments when the topic will start. So the question is, how do I spot feminine man? As I said, it has nothing to do with procrastination and motivating yourself, but still a somewhat important topic, and I haven't talked about this for some time. So how do you spot feminine man? Feminine man, you can see them. I can see them from far away. Usually I don't attract feminine man in my life. Why? Because I'm feminine myself. We always attract something that is complementing us. So if I'm very feminine, I attract masculine men. If I would be very masculine, I would still attract feminine men. So if you are attracting feminine men, if you think that they're feminine, then you're too masculine. You need to become feminine for them to kind of dissolve themselves. But how you can see them if you're in a group? Feminine men usually have a lot of hair. The bald guys are usually masculine. Feminine men have softer features, so their faces, even when they work out, even when they kind of have the strong bodies, their faces still look like baby faces, like child's faces. They're soft features. The stronger the features, the more masculine the guy is. I would even say the uglier the guy, the more masculine he is. Conventional, conventional ugliness. So. And now what else? How else you can spot a feminine guy? They're usually emotional. They are not acting on ego and emotion. So they will sing you sweet kind of praises and they will start crying and all this. This is a feminine man. A masculine man could sound like he's emotional, but usually they're not emotional. Only when their ego is bothered. Well, how else you can spot a feminine man? The feminine men usually gain weight. They usually tend to gain weight. So how do they gain weight? They gain weight on the arms, so in a feminine way. Their thighs like really chubby, their butts are big, and the lower part of the belly. So this is how they gain weight. Masculine men usually don't gain weight, but when they do, they gain weight over here, like on the third chakra. So they have like this beer belly, it's kind of weird looking, skinny legs and kind of this rounded belly. So this is the masculine way of gaining weight. Feminine men gain weight like women. So it's usually their faces around the like the breast, the arms and the lower part of their body. So this is how, and they tend to gain weight very easy. So the men that you see in the gyms that are usually working out a lot, these are feminine men. They work out because it makes them somewhat masculine, feel them somewhat masculine. So how else you can spot them? They're usually not very secure. They are not very generous. Because why they're not secure? Because because they're not masculine. So there is no security. Why they're not generous? Because money for them is security, and they don't want to give out their security. So this is how you can spot a feminine man. Again, men that usually have a lot of hair. These are feminine. Much to say, and again, they do tend to gain weight. They are not very confident. They're not very proactive. So you will know the sweet guy that you will meet, that he's like really caring about how you think, what you feel, that a really, really good friend. This is a feminine man. Masculine men are absolutely selfish, focused only on what they want, and you have to act accordingly. But again, as I said in the beginning, and for those who are joining, I'm just answering the question. This is not the topic. Again, as I said, you would never attract a feminine man into your life if you are not masculine. So we only complement each other. So, like for example, I go to the gym here in our building almost every day. No man none of the men usually speak to me. They look, they smile and everything. The only guy that spoke to me, and I'm like a beautiful girl, was the masculine guy, the one who came and was not afraid to talk to me. The other ones, I know that they're feminine, so they wouldn't even approach, who don't match energetically. They need somebody who is masculine, and I need somebody who's masculine too. So we're looking for the same thing, really. So if you are concerned why you're attracting feminine men into your life, then the question is why you're masculine, that you are attracting those feminine men into your life. That's what it is. Spotting out feminine men to avoid them is really no point, because if you are masculine, whether you will run away from them or not, they will find you, and you will find them attractive because they will complement and give you something that you don't have. So just like me with masculine men, yeah, I mean, sometimes they're very, very aggressive, very kind of rude, but I will attract them all the time as long as I'm feminine. So I would need to learn how to live with that, and how to learn to navigate them, so they will watch themselves and their actions to keep me in their life, like that. All right, so that's the question that I wanted to answer. Now to the topic. Talking about the man, let's talk about something useful. So today we're talking about procrastination. And my whole life, since I was little, both of my parents are very active. They're both masculine, so they were always active. They wouldn't be like laying on the couch reading newspapers or books or something. They were always busy with something. So I grew up thinking that procrastination is just a form of laziness, a form that you basically just a lazy person who doesn't. And I was beating myself up basically when I'm procrastinating, when I'm not doing something that I think is important in my life. On the other hand, when I'm super active and just making this kind of waves in the bucket, I mean, I felt like I was super productive and super, I guess, not procrastinating. So procrastination is not, in fact, laziness. And I wouldn't even say that laziness is a bad thing, because, as you know, most of the inventions were done in laziness. People who are lazy, who had time to think and to feel themselves, they were able to create something. Now we don't create when we're running and rushing, and the creation takes time. So I have nothing against laziness. I think laziness is actually a good thing, in moderation, obviously, as long as it doesn't harm you or anybody else around. But procrastination is a trauma, and that trauma can be fixed, and we will fix it today. So I fixed it for myself, and I will help you to fix it, because you can't really live in hopes that one day you will wake up super motivated. You're not, unless you will do something for it. And it doesn't really need that much. Thank you. It doesn't really require that much work as you think that it should. So basically, procrastination is lack of energy for something. It's always lack of energy. Any kind of procrastination is lack of energy. When you have a lot of energy, notice if you ever drank alcohol. When you drink alcohol, you're basically ready to do anything. You jumping, you dancing, you're talking to everybody. You're not procrastinating, right? Because you just borrowed a whole bunch of energy. You will have to return it. But for right now, you're feeling very activated, a lot of energy. For me, it's coffee. I don't drink coffee often, but when I drink, it's like I have so much energy. I'm ready to visit every single neighbor of mine and every friend and just talk to everybody. I know it's a borrowed energy, and next day I'm going to be laying down, not even able to open my eyes. So that's why I don't drink coffee. That's why I don't support people drinking alcohol as well, because it's all borrowed energy. But for the most part, I just wanted to show you that when you're procrastinating, you just don't have enough energy. That's all. If I will give you energy, you will be doing everything that you want. So, and why does it happen? It happens for a reason. And the lack of energy usually happens when there is not enough excitement. So excitement generates energy within us on its own. Excitement is our second chakra. It's a masculine part of the second chakra. Second chakra on its own is feminine. But the masculine part of it is up front is excitement. So you need to feel excitement to generate the energy. Second chakra is your generator of energy. That's where the energy comes from. So whether you are getting it through pleasure or through excitement, somehow you need to get it. And for you to move forward to do something, you need to have excitement. Now, then you will say, well, why don't I have excitement? So let me give you an example. So for example, I'm putting this video and you're writing to me something like, oh my God, this video was so useful, or thank you very much, or something, this and this and this, you giving me I put a lot of energy to do this video, you give me the energy somewhat back. I feel like, okay, let me make another video, and then another, and then another. Now, in my case, thankfully, I don't really, I'm so, I love when you're sending me some messages like this, when you ask me questions, when you interact with me, I do love all this. But for the most part, I don't depend on this kind of energy, because I create the energy inside of me, and I do these videos usually for my clients. I use them to send them to my clients. They can kind of deeper develop themselves. So, but some people, they do really depend on the feedback. They really depend on what people say, how they react. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the energy. Now, why would I not have the excitement towards something that I'm doing? But this is not logical, right? You will say, well, Anastasia, if you're doing the videos, why wouldn't you have an excitement? Well, I'll tell you why. Because since childhood, we're not really excited about anything that we feel towards ourselves. So usually lack of excitement comes from not enough love for yourself, not enough love for something that you're doing. And there is another video, Heal the Destructive Feelings, I think. I'll put it in here. I speak about procrastination there for like maybe a couple minutes. So procrastination starts when you're a child and your parents or somebody else are basically telling you that your ideas are not valuable enough to spend effort on them. So for example, you decided you have this a new doll, and you decided to create some clothing for your doll because you have this vision, and your mom tells you, look, this is a waste really of resources, I mean, why would you need a new dress for a doll when you have already a whole bunch of dresses? And now your creation is cut on the at the root. Why? Because your mom telling you that it's not really valuable. That something else might be valuable. So, or for example, you go into the store with your mom and you're asking her to buy you, I don't know, crayons but you need to be a little older than that. So something for you to create. And your mom tells, well, this is super expensive. Let's better buy, I don't know, food. And your mom is showing you that your ideas, your basically your desires, your creation is not important. That buying food is more important. You see, you were little at that time, but you were given right into your face that that whatever you want to do over there is not important. You see, your procrastination happens when your inner child doesn't have the moral support to explore the world, to do something in the world that is new. You see, for example, you want to I don't know, you want to get yourself a pet, and your parents tell you, no, you don't need the pet, you're not going to be looking after it. Or you want to go to the woods and you want to explore everything, and the parents again tell you something. So usually it's money related. Parents would tell you, so basically it's always the fight for the resources. The little kid wants the resources for his own kind of exploration of the world, for his own creation, and the parents said that there is no resources. For example, the child wants to go outside and play, the mom says no, she's busy. Or the child wants to create something, the mom says no, there is no really funding for this something that you want to do. And this is how it starts. This is when the procrastination starts. You when you were little, your parents showed you that all your ideas were not valuable enough to put resources in. So now you're a grown-up 40-year-old person, and you're just laying there and you procrastinate in something that you think might be important or not important, but you don't have that moral supportive grounding to keep you excited for it. You see, this is how it happens. It happens in childhood. Now, and it could be different reasons. As I said, it could be money. For a lot of families, probably is money. Like me, for example, I wanted to study martial arts, but I know that they were super expensive in my city at that time. It was something new, something exciting. And it was just, my family just couldn't afford this. I understand this. I was already almost a teenager, so I understand where it was coming from. But yet it taught me that my interests are not always the priority, that electricity is the priority. So I grew up like this. My bills are always paid ahead, but my interest will have to wait for one day when I will have a lot of money, you see? And this is obviously not right. My interest should be first, and then when the money is left, I will pay the electricity. Nobody taught me, or probably any of you, to put your interest ahead. And this is where the procrastination starts. Procrastination starts that you don't have interest in doing something for yourself because you're doing something for the others. You earn money to pay rent or electricity, and you're not really and you're not earn money for your own kind of benefits or something like that. So this is this is how it starts. So basically, everything else in your world of a little kid was much more exciting than your interests. You see, and you grew up with that, and you don't understand why you have no really desire to do anything for yourself, because you was brought up knowing that nothing is more that your interests are not important, that other interests are more important, that you paying electricity, paying rent is more important, more exciting than you doing something for yourself. All right, and now you're a grown-up person, and you could not give that. You can give all that support and excitement for yourself. I gave it to me, and trust me, it really, really worked. I was just like that. I remember when I realized that I am working to pay my kind of my way in life. I don't do nothing that excites me. I basically work and pay. I work and pay. So what was like at one point I realized, like, what am I doing? I don't want to pay rent. I don't want to pay any kind of those bills. I don't want to help nobody. I don't want to do nothing. I want to spend money on myself. Yeah, it would be maybe a silly spend, but I do want to do it. And for me, it was an opening. Like, I really, really realized what was happening. But that realization happened when I already had energy. See, if you don't have enough energy, that would never come to you. You will be like a hamster in a wheel, just running, work and pain, and just hoping for some kind of miracle to happen. For me, it was not a miracle. For me, I started working, I got some energy, and once I started having the energy, I started thinking about the life and how I'm living, and that it doesn't work for me. That this all doesn't work for me. I went to college, I got the degree, I get bachelor's, I get master's. Now I was in debt, and I'm like, what is all this? It doesn't work. So for me, it was an insight that helped me to move forward. So I brought it, once I started realizing this, I brought it up to my mentors, and we started working on it. Now I will tell you what to do and how to do it. So basically, you need to recreate. You need to do what your parents didn't do in your childhood. And if you're a parent right now, make sure always put the child's priorities, not first, but at least acknowledge them. So if the child wants to start, I don't know, start martial arts, tell her or him, yes, that's a great idea. Martial arts is, amazing, really. Let's see what we can do. So yeah, obviously you're not going to stop paying your rent or your mortgage just for your kid to go to martial arts. You remember, you are a priority too, but at least don't put him or her down just because you think that it's not important. I'm actually loving how my niece is brought up. She's, I think, in her 10 years, she already tried everything. Her parents really support everything that she's basically wants to do, just as long as she's interested and excited. And when she will grow up, there won't be no procrastination, because she knows that anything she wants, she can do. So anyways, what do you need to do? I mean, let's get to the point. So the first one, and I keep repeating this again and again and again, you need to heal your inner child. How are you going to do it? It's not really my business. I have a meditation on my channel. You can do it. That meditation is amazing. It's charged. It's really, really good. You can do it somehow else. I mean, if you work with somebody, maybe they can help you. But this meditation helped me. I was doing somewhat similar meditation. It was not no charge. And I was doing it for half a year. It is a very strong meditation, and you basically need to do it until you will almost feel neutral towards it. When I started doing this kind of meditation, I was crying nonstop all the time. Like, I was like, you know, it's like I was like a little wolf that was hiding in the bushes, and I was afraid to even stick my nose out. I felt like the whole world was a threat. And only when I healed my inner child, I started actually being interested in the world. Like, I always was social and I was communicated, but I always was expecting some kind of threat. I'm not sure. So once I healed my inner child, it's my inner child became curious about the world again. I was connecting with people, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. I was sincerely curious about the life and the world around me. So you need to heal your inner child. How do you know you will heal your inner child? You will accept yourself fully and unconditionally every single time. So even if you wake up and you look like very, very strange, very weird, you would really just, oh my God, I love you, really, you know. Or you notice the gray hair here and there, and you still accept yourself, you know. Or you gain a couple pounds and you still accept yourself. So this is how you accept yourself. You need to get to this point. This is the first thing. And until you will do it, you will procrastinate again and again and again, because your inner child is traumatized. You basically don't believe that you're important, that you love, that you're accepted. Your parents didn't taught you that. That's fine. You know, do it for yourself right now, no matter how old you are. As I said, I started doing it when I was in my 30s, maybe 33 or 34. It took me time, obviously, even till now. I sometimes work on that. But you must do it. You know, somebody has to. You can't live with your inner child not being accepted. You know, your inner child needs to know that it's accepted. Observe little kids. When they are happy and loved, they do everything. You know, they explore the world, they're happy, they're relaxed, they eat good, they sleep good, everything. Once you if you shout at them, or if they feel something off in the family, they're like little wolves. You know, they don't do nothing, they don't observe, they don't want to play, they just sit like this, like somewhat scared. So this is your inner child right now, sitting over there like a little wolf, a little scared. You need to make sure that your inner child is not feeling like this. So this is the first one. You will need to heal any kind of trauma. You need to heal your inner child first. Then, once you will heal the inner child, this is what you will do. You will need to start listening to yourself and the feeling. What is it that you want to do? Or maybe you don't even want to do nothing at all. Usually we do because we're conditioned to do something. You know, like when I grew up, I assumed that I have to go to university and then I have to get a job. Like, I didn't even know that I could do something else. In my mind, in my society, in my kind of surrounding, there was no even idea that I could be a stay-at-home mom, for example. Why? I don't know why. Because I didn't know anybody, and my parents, my relatives did not support that lifestyle. So my grandma was a career woman, my mom was a career woman. So everybody was, like on business. So this is how I grew up. And I will tell how to overcome. Just listen. So you need to start listening to yourself. Do you really want to do what was installed in you, or maybe you really want to? Maybe you just want to do something else. I mean, if you want to be a stay-at-home wife, and you believe that your family will maybe not support you, I mean, it should not really matter. You should be you should listen to yourself. And once you will heal your inner child, and you will tell your inner child will feel that it can express itself, you will hear, you will understand. Once I healed my inner child, I realized that there is a lot of things I don't want to do in my life. There are things that I do want to do. It's for procrastination. And there are things that I do want to do in my life. So start listening to yourself, and you will see. If it's hard for you to realize what you want to do, imagine you have all the money in the world. Imagine you have $5 million. What would you do? So you don't really need to go to work right now to do some kind of to make money to pay your mortgage or your rent or your car insurance or something like that. If you have all the money in the world, what is it that you would do right now? You would wake up. What would you do? You need to come to get from there. If it's hard for you to listen to yourself, I actually had a whole list that I wrote down. What would I do if I don't have to to work for a living? What would it be? And funny enough, not even 2 years after, that's exactly what happened. I started living exactly that life. But you see, I started listening to myself. I started allowing myself to think that life could be different. That I don't need to have a career to live, to provide for myself, to provide for others. So start listening to yourself. Then you need to start feeling. Oh, and I put here, if you have to do something, if you feel like you have to do something, then the next step for you will be you need to find excitement towards something. So when I realized that I don't want to be a career woman, that I don't want to work in my finance career, when I realized that I want to have a completely different lifestyle, I mean, I couldn't just drop everything and then move on. I knew that I wanted to change, but I also realized that it takes time. You know, I couldn't really I couldn't just stop everything that was happening in my life. So what I started doing, I start creating the excitement about where I am at that moment. So I still had my job, I still had my clients, I still had my routine, but it was not just a routine for something. So I was not just working to have to pay my bills. I was now working for my future. So I knew that hopefully soon I will be, I will be self-employed. I will be doing what I want to do. So I started feeling excited about my routine, about my job, about everything that I was doing at that moment. So you need to start doing the same thing. Without excitement, you won't be able to move yourself. The reason, as I said, the reason why we procrastinate each other by ourselves is because there is no excitement. And excitement is something that needs. So you need to create excitement at this moment about something. Excitement is a fuel. You know, it gives you natural energy. So if you wake up and you just basically drag your feet to the bathroom and you just, brush your teeth, take a shower quickly, dress up and drag yourself again to work, and then just the whole day is just dragging and dragging and dragging, this will not do. You will never have motivation. You need to create excitement about something. So create about whatever you want, the weekend, the job, your future, something like that. So I created excitement at that moment about the exciting new future and about my present. I was looking at my job as, okay, I'm really almost done. If not almost done, then I have the opportunities here as well. So, and funny enough, I started getting higher bonuses. I started getting increase in pay. So you see, I created the excitement. Now, as I said, excitement is in your second chakra. If you could not feel excited, then work with it. Work with it on both sides, on masculine side and feminine side. So you need to feel pleasure in the back and excitement up front. The easiest way to do it, just breeze through it. It's easy. I have a video on second chakra, and I can put it for you. If you are inspired to be a feminine woman, you have to have the chakra working like this, like at all times. So this is another one. Then the next step, you need to make sure that whatever you're doing for yourself. You'll be surprised how many people are thinking that they're doing something for themselves, but they're really doing for somebody else, for some kind of societal standard. I'm not sure, for something. So, like, for example, the other day I was reading this. I'm in this group, and I was reading this girl. She was saying that her new self is a selfish self, and she's not liking that. You see, we're so conditioned to do something for others and for everybody else that we think just focusing on ourselves and our needs is selfish. You see? So now, and then you're asking why you're not motivated, because you're working for somebody. You're making money or having savings for somebody else. Maybe you want to help your parents, or maybe you want to impress your friends or something like that. It's never for us. So you need to make sure whatever is it that you decided to do, whatever you're doing now, is somehow benefiting you in some kind of way, whatever that way is. So, for example, you might want to impress your friends. This will satisfy your ego if you're extremely masculine, for example. So this gives you some kind of validation. This benefits you. Yeah, you still throwing money on your friends, but it validates you. You see, you're doing it for yourself. You need money. I think most of successful men that I know are actually successful because of that, because they feel great when they're spending money, when they're giving the money away, they are validated. And this is exactly what makes them successful. They're excited about making money because they can act like this after, And now, so whatever that selfish reason could be for you, maybe you want to be popular, or like, for example, I know a couple people that do put a lot of videos on TikTok. Why? Because they like the popularity. They like to be, I don't know, somewhat famous, I guess. They like this. This is what excites them. Their thought about being popular excites them. Or maybe now, ideally, that this should not be the reasons. Ideally, the reason should be that this helps your development somehow. So, for example, you decided you need to write a book. Why do you want to write the book? Because you want to, you have a lot of knowledge. You want to share that knowledge. You just want to express yourself and contribute to the society somehow. Or you want to start learning martial arts. Why? Because you think it would be good for your body. You always wanted to try. You are mesmerized by it, like that. Or you're leaving your job and starting your own business. Why? Because you want to have flexibility. You want to maybe to travel more. You want to spend time with your family more. So it has to be somewhat towards you. If you're doing something for somebody else, it will never create excitement and never will be a motivation. Maybe in the beginning a little bit. So find what is there. Even if you go to, if you are working 9 to 5, and then you come home and you clean and cook for a whole bunch of kids, find what is it in it for you to create that motivation. You see, to create excitement, and then the excitement will create the motivation. Again, motivation is lack of energy. You need to create it somehow. The easiest way to create it is through excitement, unless somebody will validate that, and you will get the energy through validation. But the easiest one is to get through excitement. How to get excitement? Find out what it is, what in this for you. You wouldn't be in any situation if there wouldn't be nothing in you. Even if you are working and you're paying, and you're giving the money to, I don't know, to maybe your parents or to something, you feel great that you are doing this. You feel like this kind of, like this hero that is basically contributing to your parents, like this big amazing person. So this is how it should be. You always need to find what is your selfish reason. Find the selfish reason, the excitement will come with it. Or if you don't find a selfish reason, then you need to stop doing what is that you're doing. Find something else to do. It's always, let me tell you something, you will never be motivated if you don't have excitement. I know it from myself. I'm putting videos on YouTube for 2 years. If I would never have excitement, motivation, would I ever be able to do that? No. I mean, you see, YouTube is not paying me, so I obviously doing it on really just my own energy. I am excited. I mean, these videos are helping me. I'm sending them to my clients, so I do it. I do it because for my own reasons. You see, if I wouldn't have that excitement, I would stop probably on the second month, on the third month, like a lot of people do. So my own excitement drives my progress. Now, why YouTube is not, why I'm not monetized yet? Well, that's another question to me. Obviously, there is obviously some kind of blocks that are holding me there. So I'm not perfect, as I'm developing as all of you, but at least I can create the excitement and motivation for myself. You see? Even today, I woke up and I was excited to talk about this because this is a subject that's important for me, important for others. So I create excitement. Excitement gave me energy, and now with the energy, I'm giving this information to you. So whatever it is that you're doing, you need to create the excitement that would kind of give you the energy. The next one is you need to create. So you need to have focus, and focus is an interesting thing. Usually, usually when I tell my clients all the time, you need to stop being an observer of your life. You need to become the main character. And this is also an important reminder to myself as well. A focused person is a self-sufficient person, and the self-sufficient focused person is not really is not really a vulnerable person. It's a strong person. It's good for us. It's not good for the society. Since we were little, our focus was always taken away from us. Why? Because when we were little, our parents wanted to control us. And as long as you're not fully focused on yourself, you are easily controllable. Now it's a society that wants to control us. So focus is important. And if you want to motivate yourself, if you want to stay on the right track, you need to keep the right focus. Lucky for me, focus is something that I work on constantly. Plus, I have my Mars in Capricorn, so I am focused like that. My masculinity is focused. Now, when you focus on yourself, you become very powerful. Why? Because your energy stays within your aura. It's not somewhere outside. You see, if I am working to pay rent for my building, all that is outside. So I'm basically borrowing energy from me to go to work. I work over there, and then that energy that I make money, I give it away. So I'm basically wasting my resources from the inside out, and I don't get nothing back, not even some kind of small satisfaction, maybe some small satisfaction. Now, if I would be focusing on myself, then outside will have to complement me. You see, when you focus, like I put it over here, when you focus outside, your energy becomes thin and you become weak, vulnerable, and malleable. You are easy to rule. When your energy is staying within your aura, like for example, I decide, okay, so I can, I can spend 4 hours and I need to make $2,000 in those 4 hours. So if I work every single day 4 hours, like 5 days a week, I need to make $2,000 within a week. What I'm going to do, how I'm going to make $2,000 within that week. You see, it's not the outside that dictates me what I'm going to do and how much I'm going to make. I decide what is it going to be, and from there, the outside will have to I'm not sure, like will have to become what I want it to be. It will become the outside that I want it to be, according to my wishes, according to what I want in this life. You see, this is that important, and I hope you understand this. Now, if you are again, it started all in childhood. If you would be very self-sufficient, your parents would never have control over you. And unfortunately, they were not self-sufficient, so they needed to control you somehow. So they basically were creating this kind of world of, they were imposing their power over you. So they would not allow you this, they would not allow you that, and you basically became in this creature with a thin energy and very weak aura. And now you could not excite yourself, you could not motivate yourself. So, but it was in childhood, that's fine. You're right now a grown-up person, it all can change. So again, focus is what will keep you and your aura inside of yourself. You see, don't plan your life according to don't plan your life according to the circumstances right now. Plan your life according to what you want, where you see your life to be. You see, it is much more important. A few years back, when I used to plan a vacation, I used to come, so I would look at my budget and then decide, okay, so I can go here, I can go there, but this is my budget. Right now, when I plan a vacation, I look at where I want to go, and then it will become exactly as my budget allows. So something somewhat similar, you see? It's like the energy outside has to what is that word, like has to mold towards my needs. And why? Because I'm self-focused, and this creates the motivation, this creates energy and motivation. So focus is crucial, really crucial for somebody who wants to motivate. If your focus will be all over the place, your energy will be all over the place. You will never be able to, so you will be wasting a lot of energy outside. It's never really good. Your energy has to stay inside and towards something that you wanted to do. You see, if I would try when I was little, martial arts, tennis, basketball, maybe, who knows, soccer, if I would be all over the place on all those, who knows, maybe I would never I would never do nothing, none of those activities. Why? Because my energy is all over. But if I would fix myself on doing only martial arts, maybe I would be somebody super famous by now. So that's why it's important. For your motivation, focus on something is important. You don't need to focus on the same thing again and again and again. Obviously, not everybody maybe is like me, or I understand some people are changing faster, but give yourself a month. Focus on something for a month. Create excitement about that for a month and see how it will change. So, for example, you decided to I'm not sure. You decided to write a book. Give yourself a month. Focus only on that book. Somebody will tell you, hey, you want to go out, and you're like, you spend the evenings writing a book. You're like, no, you know what? I'm busy today. So you focus in the energy on that book. Plus, you feel excited about the book. Plus, you obviously doing the actions. Plus, your inner child is healed, and therefore you can perform without any kind of threat of not being approved. And give yourself a month and then see, maybe the writing of a book was not really your thing, or maybe you will get so even more excited about it, and you will write it even more and more. So give yourself obviously some kind of time. And the last one is, you need to take it slow with yourself. I would say dedicate like 30 minutes to some kind of task that you want to do. You remember that you're used to do only what needs to be done and rewarded by societal standards. Now you will start doing something that maybe you will never be rewarded. And it's like basically spend 30 minutes a day wasting on nothing. You don't know what it will be. It might be a good investment. You might write a book that will become a bestseller, or maybe it will be just a flop, and you will just waste some time and effort on a book that like me, I wrote a book, I never proofread it, so I'm sure there are a whole bunch of mistakes, and it's on Amazon. I mean, I never thought that I will become a big a big writer. That was never really mine, but at that moment it looked right. I mean, I wrote it, I felt good about it, whatever. What I want to say is that I'm glad that I did it, because I listened to myself and I allowed my inner child to self-express it. And I'm proud, obviously, that I allowed myself to do it. So, but again, do not overexhaust yourself. A person who is like a little robot doing everything by the rule, and now you are allowed to do something by another rule, will be very uncomfortable for you. So allow yourself 30 minutes, an hour to invest in yourself, to do something yourself. So maybe spending, I don't know, maybe you want to move somewhere. So allow yourself 30 minutes to an hour to find the information about the new place where you want to move, or to research the new place. So maybe or maybe to research the country that you want to move, or the state or the city. And little by little, this will create excitement. Excitement will create the energy, and energy will create the motivation. Plus, obviously, you love yourself, so you allow yourself to move like this. Or if you are looking for a job, a new job, and you obviously are not motivated to look for a job, give yourself 30 minutes a day that you just browsing through the pool of jobs that are over there. Maybe you telling others about that you're looking for a job. You keeping the focus on that. You obviously creating this kind of excitement for you. You're doing it for yourself, not to make more money than to spend on somebody. You're doing it for yourself. You're making like me. I took once like a cash job for as a bookkeeper, and I told myself, all the money that I make, I spend on clothes. My God, I was so excited to go to that job, because that job was just for me. Those money were just for me. I could buy anything I wanted. This was, I think, the best. I never felt tired there. I was so excited. So you need to make sure that you're doing it for yourself. You're excited about it, and your inner child knows that it can really explore some kind of other new options. So like this, if you will spend more time, you will overexhaust yourself. Remember, you don't have energy. You need to create the energy little by little. So don't overexhaust yourself. If I will right now put on TikTok 50 videos, I mean, I will overexhaust it. I will never put nothing in for the next maybe half a year. But if I will put one video a day, something exciting that I want to share, then it would create the excitement and give me more energy and more motivation. Like that. Don't when you get the idea, you always get a whole bunch of energy, so you feel excited, and with time the excitement thins out, and if you do not keep the excitement going, the motivation basically dies out. But if you will dedicate little time to researching, to kind of doing something to create an excitement, you will see that you will be able to go for a long time. So again, know when to give up, obviously, but if motivation is something that you're struggling with, then these are the steps. If you are doing like a YouTube video for 2-3 years and you're not getting any kind of reward for it, I mean, I get clients from YouTube. I also send the videos to my clients. Yes, I'm not monetized, but I am getting some kind of rewards for it. So I do get the energy back. Now, if you are just putting, and you're not receiving nothing and you're all frustrated, then maybe it's time to kind of stop and do something else, or maybe to find a different niche. So something like that again. But if the problem is not the attention, is not really, but if the problem is the motivation, then these are the steps that you need to do. And I actually know a couple of my clients have YouTube channels that are really big, and they started after me, but I know that they struggle with motivation. I hope you guys will watch this. And I know that sometimes they don't do nothing in in a few months. Why? Because of this. They don't have motivation. They procrastinate. They feel like they don't like it's not going the way it should be. So anyways, if procrastination is your issue, these are the steps that you need to do. I'm going to sum it up fast. Let me know if you have questions, and if not, then we'll go on our merry way to enjoy Sunday. All right, so procrastination is always lack of energy. It's never laziness. It's always lack of energy, and lack of energy comes from a trauma. The trauma comes from childhood, and that trauma is that you, or whatever you're doing, is not as important as something else. So your interest, your kind of your creation, your interest, your exploration are not important. That something else is more important, and you grew up with the same feeling. You grew up that, okay, me wanting to buy this is not important, but me needing to buy potatoes is more important. You see, like that. Who knows? Maybe you don't even need that potato. Maybe a new dress will make you more happier. But you grew up with this thought that potato is more important than my new dress. So this is where it's coming from, and then you start you're not motivated to make money to buy the potato because potato is not making you happy. And it's all come from childhood always. Usually people that were morally supported by their parents usually have no problem with procrastination. They have different problems. They have problems with keeping themselves on one task. They have, they start a lot of things, but they don't have problems with procrastination. I will tell you this. I know this kind of people. I work with a couple of them. They are very on hands. If something interests them, they will do it right away. They will never think twice about them. Why? Because when they were little, their parents were actually very supportive of their ideas and their desires. So it's always a trauma, and you can fix the trauma yourself right now. You don't need your parents to help you with this. So you can give all the support and excitement to yourself. You can tell yourself you can do it. I believe in you. You need to become your biggest cheerleader, and you need to create the energy that will support that something. So the first thing that you need to do, you need to heal your inner child. This is for every trauma. As I said, once I healed my inner child, my life went into completely different direction. It became lighter, I started looking at the life as something wonderful, not as a threat, like a constant threat that they constantly have to fight some kind of nightmares that don't even exist. You see, healing your inner child is crucial if you want to live a fulfilling life. Then what you need to do, only happy inner child can create. Let me tell you this. Then what you need to do, you need to start listening. Once you will heal your inner child, the inner child will start telling you what the inner child wants to do. So you need to start listening and feeling. And even if it's something absolutely awkward, you still need to give it a try, because the inner child always knows what is better for you. So if you could not listen to yourself, if it's absolutely hard, then imagine yourself having everything already. And if you have everything already, what will you do? What will be your next step? So if you have $5 million in the bank, what now you have all the time in the world for you, what are you going to do? So then if you could not just drop everything, if you don't have yet $5 million in the bank and you still need to go to work and pay your rent and do this and that, then you need to create excitement for that, something that you need to do. I mean, something that you want to do, the excitement will be there, but something that you have to do, there is none. You need to create it until you can change something. Then you need to make sure that whatever you do, you're doing for yourself. There is some kind of benefit for you. Remember, we are very selfish ourselves, and our consciousness doesn't understand why I'm supposed to be working to pay somebody else for something else. This makes no sense. I'm supposed to be working to develop myself, not others. So like this. So even if you do something, even if you're working to pay rent, you still need to find some kind of benefit. While I'm creating for myself a beautiful kind of housing or something. So there's always something for you. Then you need to make sure that there is focus. When you have your focus, you're a very powerful person. When you're self-sufficient, you are very powerful. As if your focus is all over the place outside your aura, you're very vulnerable. Your aura is vulnerable. You yourself is vulnerable. You basically just blunt. You are easy to manipulate when you are weak like that. When your energy is outside your aura, you're very easy prey. And that's why it's important to work with your energy. I mean, whatever you will tell me is important. All right, but focus is what keeps your energy in. So you need to start focusing on what is important for you, at least for a little bit, at least for maybe a month or so on one thing. So continue your life, go to work, pay your rent, do this, do that. But in between all this, for an hour, just sit and think about something. Like I told you before, when I was still working in my finance career, what I was doing, I would come, I had my breakfast, and then I would watch for half an hour some fancy resorts, some fancy villas all over the world that would motivate me. I wanted to travel. I wanted to travel around the world. I wanted to spend time outside the United States. I wanted to see, different countries and not rush like I usually 2 weeks vacation. I need to to fit in everything. And the half an hour day, it was my focus was on what I wanted, not what I was, and it gave me a boost of energy to move on with my day, to move on with my life, and unconsciously I basically manifested it. Once I was laid off, I went to travel, and then I went to travel again. So I somewhat manifested. Did I stay in the most expensive villas? No, I haven't stayed, but I stayed in the really nice places with the really nice views. And I could say that a lot of those views I actually got in my real life. So focus is important, and then take it slow with yourself. If you will decide, okay, that's it, now I'm only doing what I want to do, it will be very hard for you. You see, we're programmed differently. We're programmed to be like almost serving others, we're programmed to go to work, we're programmed to contribute to the society. Nothing bad in that, obviously, but what I want to say is that once you start changing and start choosing yourself more often, and working on your motivation, it will take time. You allow yourself to do nothing only for 30 minutes or an hour. I have clients, and those clients are pretty entitled ladies. I mean, I live in Miami. So, and even them, women that were brought up in wealth, and who are spoiled right now as well, they still are very particular about how they spend that time. They wouldn't just allow themselves to spend 30 minutes on nothing, like on just something that the inner child wants. It takes time, practice, and training to do what you want to do instead of what you believe is right to do. You see. So take it slow, otherwise you will just give up. You will very fast will give up. When I started was dedicating time like this to myself, I basically, I lasted a week, and then there was no more. And then I felt like, my God, I'm wasting, so much time on this, and I have to live the life. I need to do something. I need to go to work. I need to focus on my clients. I could not be daydreaming day and night. And then I basically decided for myself, I will do it half an hour, maybe an hour the most. And little by little, I got I got sucked into this new reality. So this is how you remove procrastination and you find the motivation. This is the only way of doing it. And trust me, I was motivating myself in different ways. Like I, for example, would promise myself, okay, Anastasia, if you do this, then I will buy myself something. But you see, this is not really a real motivation. This is a reward-based motivation. It's like you have promised yourself, and that energy, if you will kind of do something. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not always lucrative. When a person has almost everything, how do you motivate yourself? It's not. I could not promise myself private plane, obviously. I could not truly right now afford it. I mean, that's obvious, I think. Even if I could, I mean, I have to park it somewhere. I need to pay the cabin crew and everybody. So I have to be like looking realistically. Plus, I could not really, before every little task, promise myself a new bag or something. So, but this way, I will motivate myself with my own energy. With my own energy, I will be able to create the excitement and desire to do something, to create. You see, this is different. I don't need an outside reward. I have inside energy that will support that something that I'm doing. Again, as long as it is for me, as long as it's not for somebody else. Like I have friends that refuse almost to become successful because they believe that if they become successful, they will have to share that success with their immediate family, and they just don't want to. I mean, they this is so funny, because people would lie that no, it's this so hard, it's this and that, but it's obvious, because through the conversation you can figure out what bothers them, and through the conversation you can hear them saying something like, oh my God, I know that I would have to help my sister, or I would need to help my aunt. Nobody's going to take care of her. So to avoid this undesirable providing of help, they basically just sabotage themselves to become more successful. Now, if you decide that all the money, that all that success you will use only for yourself, for your investments, for your traveling, for buying yourself a property, for buying yourself jewelry, I don't know what moves you, you will see how fast and more successful you will become. It's a completely different feeling. It's just so, it keeps you going on and on and on. And I see successful people, and I know why they're successful, because they're motivated by their own excitement. Their energy is within their aura. They don't need to create fake motivations. They create them. Their motivation comes from the inside, with the excitement in their own bodies. So on this on this happy note, I think we're going to finish. Let me know if you have any questions. Also, if you have any kind of if you will have any questions, you can send them to me. If you have any ideas for the future videos, let me know. I have a few, but I'm always open to the new ones. Tell me what pains you, what would you want to know more, and I will see whether we can do a video together. All right, no questions, then that's it. Let's enjoy Sunday. Today Saturn moved retrograde. You might feel a little heavy. Saturn is our strict parent, so you might feel like something is just pushing you down, like making you almost too realistic. I guess this video on motivation is perfect timing for this kind of astrological event, because Saturn is strict, and we make ourselves like almost overwhelmed if we don't do nothing. But look, you don't need to, pushing yourself to do something will never get you to the right result. You can push yourself once, you can push yourself twice. I mean, how long is it going to be? You will overexhaust yourself and you will not get the result. It's like a parent and the child. When the parent is, thank you, my dear sister. When a parent is pushing the child to do something, I mean, the parent is unhappy, the child is unhappy, nothing is done or done with a huge effort. The same with you. When you're pushing yourself to do something, just the same story. You're exhausted, your inner child is exhausted, doesn't feel loved. The whatever you're doing is hardly done just because you force yourself. I mean, this is not the way how it should be. This is not. So I hope you will do the steps. I hope you will be, you will motivate yourself. I hope you will all become successful in the field that you want to be successful. Somebody just wants to be a good housewife or good mom. It's not like everybody has to become a famous artist or something. So whatever it is that you're procrastinating now, I hope you will become successful in it. And if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, enjoy your Sunday, and I will see you next Sunday at 11 a.m. Bye, everybody. Also, don't forget, every Thursday I put a short video on YouTube. It's usually like 20 minutes. So please do watch it as well. I don't advertise it. I just put it there. I hope you see it. All right. Bye, everybody. Bye, TikTok. Bye, YouTube. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate it. And I see you next week. Bye, everybody.